YouTube. Okay, whatever. Let's see. Where's my chat? Refresh chat. Huh. Oh, there we go. All right, what's up, everybody? Rev Sauce 9. We got our Go Home Show review. We got Pesci. We got Icon. We're going to have a little fun tonight talking some wrestling. And then we'll get back into the game streaming here in a little bit on Twitch. You guys know that I'm only doing game streams now on Twitch. Kind of moved away from doing everything because it's like too many chats to handle for me. Like, for real. And tomorrow, guys, we got the Splitting the Sauce tomorrow. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, we got the first. It's kind of a show. It's going to be more of a show. So the first episode of the show is going to be tomorrow. We're going to probably talk about a lot of topics. Pesci and I tonight have been talking a little bit about it. I think it's going to be a blast. It's going to be some fun. I think you guys have been kind of delegating what kind of topics we're going to go. Some of you want us to talk about Mr. Beast. Some of you want to talk about Boogie. I don't blame you guys with those two topics because Boogie's pretty up there. We could talk about Review Tech USA. There's a lot of topics we could talk about, in fact. And we could talk some wrestling. I know you guys want us to talk some wrestling tomorrow. So me and Pesci will keep our ears to the grindstone tomorrow. We'll talk. We'll keep talking about stuff. So, and things like that. So you guys will know. Well, when we first open up the show, Pesci will be the one to give out the first topic tomorrow night. And we'll let him. I'll let him christen the show. Pop the cherry of the show, and we'll go that way, just like JD does for when he does TNT. So he lets his co-host do the first topic of the night. So we'll kind of do the same thing. Have some fun with it, and we'll let Pesci pick the first one. And by the way, just to let you guys know, with this show, so you guys know this, when we do that show, it's not just the show. We're gonna be doing more than just the show. For instance, if Pesci wanted to do something on the side with Splitting the Sauce, he can. I've told him that. So, like, if he wanted to do something of the range of a movie review or something that he doesn't want to do on his channel in particular, he could do it over here. So it's vice versa for myself. So we're going to do clips and stuff. There's going to be plenty of stuff that's going to happen on that show. But expect something different. Like, it's going to be a little different. It's going to be different than our typical content. We're still going to do our typical content, but there's going to be some things that will be thrown on that channel. It'll be a little different. It'll be a little fun. Like I said, stay tuned for things. Like, we're going to be doing shows 2 times a week, maybe 1 a week, depending on Pesci's work schedule and what we do. You know, we may do 1 on the weekend, may not be Thursdays, as I say. You know, we may push it back. But I think it'll be fun. We got a lot of things coming up. College football. We got the Olympics still happening. We're early in on that. There's a lot of things to talk about. And we got a lot of topics to talk about. Now, to be prepared, Pesci and I may not see eye to eye on certain topics. So, like I told you guys, first take, undisputed. You know, Club Shay, we may be kind of taking the vibes, having some fun. You know, just keep in mind, it's going to be a little different than what you normally see from me. So I'm going into this with no expectations. So just be prepared. Me and Pesci have been talking for a year about it. So I just want to let you guys know what to expect tomorrow. It's going to be fun. But anyway, let's get into talking about Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw tonight, go home show. Pesci didn't really miss very much when he joined us. He didn't really miss very much outside of Drew McIntyre and Punk segment. And it was.
I didn't see any Wyatt 6 stuff either. They came out.
They came out and they basically beat the crap out of the Alpha Academy. You didn't miss anything with that. Pretty much they showed their faces. Joe Gacy, Rowan, and what's their name all showed their faces. So that's what you missed. Oh, and Sister Abigail jumping off Nikki Cross jumping off the top rope onto Chad Gable. Like a frog splash or something like that. You didn't miss anything much. And the little segment with Seth Rollins. You came in on the 3rd segment of the night.
What's Seth Rollins doing?
Seth Rollins basically said tonight that he's going to be pretty much the judge, the executioner, and everything else. If he feels that, he said he feels if you go past the line, he's going to, throw down. He did say that. Basically, if
What,
Drew,
they have him being a referee at SummerSlam?
yes,
He must be hurt. What a waste of Seth Rollins.
I think the match is going to end in some fuckery. To be honest with you, I think it'll set up for an actual triple threat.
Still a waste of Seth Rollins at SummerSlam.
Yes, I agree with that. Yes, it is.
They'll probably end it in an angle where Seth have to go against Punk or stupid like that.
Or they'll do another. They'll do another triple threat, basically.
I'd rather see Seth in a match. You know, he must still be banged up.
So tonight, basically, let's see. Rollins threatened his shirt to Adam Pearce, called the whole thing off, but knew everyone wanted a match, and he demanded Punk to get back in the ring. Punk got back into the ring while called Rollins a bootlicker, office boy, basically what he said. And then McIntyre told Rollins that Punk was a cancer, poisoning the minds of everybody, including the young talent of NXT. McIntyre called Punk a real enemy. Rollins wanted them to shut up so he could instruct them for the violence masterpiece on Saturday. And then Rollins said that if I'm in charge, so if anytime, anywhere you lay a hand on me, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. That's basically what he said.
What do you mean go home show? There's a fucking pay-per-view?
Yeah. Saturday
SummerSlam.
Saturday is SummerSlam.
Duh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're good. Basically, that was it. Punk basically said he's gone for 10 years. He chanted his name. He said to Drew McIntyre, basically, from my notes, basically said, you don't get any chanting. Basically, you're a nobody technically in WWE. And basically, Rollins said if you lay a hand on anybody, the match will be called off completely. You can't lay a hand on anybody tonight in this show. If you touch me or anybody like that, you are literally going to be, the match is going to be called off. That's what he basically said.
Yeah, with
That's kind of dumb.
That was kind of stupid.
Yeah, and he also include the indefinite suspension or some random stuff.
Yeah, he basically said if you touch me, the match will be called off, and Drew, you'll be definitely suspended. And then Drew pulled out the friendship bracelet of his dog Larry and his wife, and basically said, "You want this? You're gonna have to go through me for it." Basically, and then Punk gave him a look, saying he's gonna kill him. Basically, and that was your opening segment of the night.
They didn't have to bring the bracelet into it. The match was doing just.
Yeah, I agree with you there. It was a little bit much. But you're going to have the WWE, you're going to have the WWE casuals loving this, so.
Brace.
Basically. Now we get to the second part of the night. We get to the second segment of the night. Damian Priest joins after the commercial break. And Balor in the corner saying basically, Balor, thanks for having my back. You don't have to do this tonight. You don't need to go fight my battles. And basically, Balor basically said, trust him. I'll take care of, Balor said, trust them. They'll take care of Sami Zayn, Jey Uso. Dominic volunteered with Carlito to face Zayn. And the Judgment Day basically said they will willfully leave everybody in rubble, basically. And then Michael Cole had mentioned Judas Creed and the Creed brothers and at Bloodsport over the weekend. And let's get back to my notes. And basically, the Judgment Day, whatever, their hangout spot was all messed up in flames and shit. So, basically.
LWO was misbooked, which means SummerSlam isn't going to be as interesting with their angle because they haven't been booked properly. That faction should be a lot farther along. They should have maybe Toledo.
So tonight they made, and I will give WWE their credit, they finally made Otis look strong, and they finally made Maxine look good. Finally. Maxine slapped the shit out of Gable. Otis basically knocked the shit out of Gable, but then turned around. Gable did. Breaking news, Tony Khan, one of the founders of AEW, suffered. Okay, that's fake. That's fake. I am here to express my deepest condolences to the Khan family. Well, that's all fake news, but okay. Tony Khan's alive and well, homie. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for the comment, though. But back to what we were talking about. So Dazawa, Creed Brothers, all that. Basically, Gable beat the shit out of, at the end of it, beat the shit out of Otis. Pretty much laid him out, technically. Then Maxine Dupree ran out the ring, and then pretty much the Wyatt Six showed up, and then the Wyatt Six took the stage, as I said, and then pretty much they showed their faces tonight. Joe Gacy, Rowan, and what was the other one icon? I forgot. Dexter Loomis.
Yep.
And pretty much Nikki Cross on the top rope came up and I don't know, did a frog splash, or was it a flying? I have no idea. It was one of the two, and that was pretty much it. And then Gable was on the back of the ramp, freaking the fuck out, and then he ran out because Bo Dallas was showing up, or Uncle Howdy. Good.
Anything that Nikki Cross does that doesn't involve her being a superhero
is a win. Yeah, I agree with that.
And they should have made her sister Abigail a long time ago. I think I even said that a couple years back.
Well, to me, it's going to be interesting when they bring back Alexa Bliss to WWE, what they're going to do with her. Are they going to have her in this Wyatt as the sixth member, or what are they going to do with her? Because she is part of the family, though.
Yeah, for character build-up. I could see that, and honestly.
You can't bring her back as a normal character because that Liv Morgan already took her spot.
Pretty much, you're not wrong with that one. Bronson Reed defeats Sheamus. This match was kind of just a whatevers to me. It kind of built up Pete Dunne more than anything. Pete Dunne uses the shillelagh beats, hits Sheamus in the back or in the skull. And then he falls to the ground, and then they do a tsunami, and pretty much Bronson Reed gets a victory. Sheamus, I don't know what they're doing with Sheamus, but I think, I think Sheamus has given him the idea that he's not coming back to WWE because his contract's expiring, so they're putting him in these matches to make him lose. It just made no sense to me tonight.
Yeah.
Bronson Reed wrestles everywhere. You never know what he's like a circus.
And they're finally giving Pete Dunne, the man is finally getting an actual storyline, actually to be part of, finally. Pete Dunne, there we go.
Yeah, that kind of remind me of Finley though a little bit though. Back in like the 2000s and maybe early 2010 maybe.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, Fit Finley's great shit.
Pete Dunne's always had a shell life though. I never thought he was gonna get much bigger than he was in NXT.
I agree with you there.
Like Braun Breaker, you look at Braun Breaker, you know there's another level he's gonna go to. Pete Dunne, not so much.
Well, he was under the Vince McMahon era shit, and they didn't know what to do with him. They didn't know what they had with him, honestly. They put him as, what was his name? Butch?
Yeah.
Botch?
What's funny is when that almost started to get over for certain people, not like everybody, they tore that apart.
Yes, they did. Damian Priest cuts a promo. Basically, it was a pre-tape promo, basically stating that Gunther's had everything handed to him, that he's never lived on the streets. Basically, the same kind of promo Sami Zayn cuts every week, saying that you don't understand my feelings, you don't get it. I'm gonna hold this belt, and I'm gonna continue to hold the belt. Well, I think Gunther's winning on Saturday, so there's just no doubt about it. I think Gunther deserves the belt at this point. Don't get me wrong, Damian Priest is good shit, but at the end of the day, it's ran its course. It's time for Damian Priest to lose that title. I'm just saying.
Oh, Gunther's going against
Priest for the title. Yep. Well, he won a King of the Ring that gave him the opportunity to go against Priest for the title. Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, Priest isn't I don't know. He's not this great ass champion.
No, I think it's ran its course. Can I just say something? Braun Breaker. Can I say this now? Braun Breaker better win that Intercontinental title, or I'm fucking rioting. on Saturday.
Yeah,
I'm literally writing.
He should have wanted that first.
Sami Zayn, this whole Rocky thing, I'm over with. Dun, 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 I say it every week. Dun, 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 dun. I'm like over it, dude. Just spear his ass. Beat him in like, I'd like to see it in about a minute's time. Just spear him. I wish Braun Breaker would have a jackhammer. I know that's Goldberg-esque, but I want him to have that though. Like, seriously.
Yeah,
Turn
kind
him.
of felt.
Go ahead.
So go ahead.
No. Go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, it kind of felt me like, Goldberg and kind of wasn't. I forgot the wrestler's name. I
Rick
know he's
Steiner.
like, yeah, put together. Thank you.
You're welcome. I agree with that. A Big Papa Pump. I can go with that. Scott Steiner too. I mean, he comes from the household, the family. I honestly think he could be like a Sting ass if he does a Scorpion draft drop later on in his career. I'd be all right. Braun
Yeah.
Breaker is entertaining to me, man. Like that
I
dude.
can't believe Trick Williams isn't champion. That was too cool.
Well, what they did was with and I was telling this to everybody that's been all upset in my chat over it. The reason why Trick Williams lost the title, you just sign all ego Ethan Page for a shit ton of money. You have to have him win. They had no other choice. Shawn Michaels backed himself into a corner. Unfortunately. All ego Ethan Page. And you know what? I'm going to say this. The AEW fucked up with that character, by the way. Ethan Page, you fucked up with. Like, can we just say that? You dropped the ball, and now look at him. He's champion on your other product.
Well, that's why Triple H is going to love the opportunity to bring in Stark.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Because he'll be smart enough to see that NXT.
Well, I've said this. I said this the other night in my streams too, and I've said this. Triple H and Shawn Michaels know what they're doing. That's the thing. Where Tony Khan, on the other hand, he's starting to book storylines. It took him too long, and now he's realizing that his views are down, and he has to book storylines. There's no other story. There's no doubt about
That's why I did the MJF whatchamacallit match, and it's just spinning a lot of yarn, and they've done too much bad to where it's not much is gonna be fixable. A lot of shit that can be fixed.
That is true. I mean, but they can
even if they do get some good booking over there, there are some guys that that superstar kind of feeling probably kind of is going away to guys.
Well, I'll tell you this, and I've said this about AEW, and I don't know if you agree with me, and I don't know if Icon agrees with me here, but I've said this to you guys before, and I've said this to Pesci, and we'll probably talk about this on the show tomorrow too, where a lot of these guys, Tony Khan has not built up properly, and I get called an AEW mark in a show all the time, and I get called a fanboy, but I've said this on the record before many times, and I've told this to Pesci, your Darby Allins, you haven't built up to nothing. You haven't made him look important. He's not important. Jack Perry, you brought him back as the scapegoat. Where's the storyline?
And they destroyed titles.
Yes.
They destroyed them. Oh, there's a you hear, oh, you should think title match coming up. Oh, this should be interesting. No, it's not really like that.
Here's another thing that I thought that they went right. They brought in a US title. It was like, okay, all right, you brought in a U.S. title because your naming SKUs for your titles are all over the place. For instance, you already have an Intercontinental title. You don't need an All-Atlantic title.
And Orange Cassidy title run did nothing. They destroyed Orange Cassidy.
Yes, they did. Yeah, they went backwards with Orange. They went backwards with Orange real quick. I said that to you. I'm like, look at your boy getting...
That was one of my favorite wrestlers in the very beginning when they didn't have him wrestle every day. And he'd come out and do a couple moves. And then, get knocked out or something. That's when he was great. And then COVID hit, and I felt like that was when I kind of slowly, Tony Khan started to like him more. But that's when I felt like I slowly started to like him a little bit less because they, without fans, it was hard to keep his gimmick going. And they had him wrestle against Jericho 3 times in COVID with no fans. I thought they should have not had him wrestle during COVID. Just had him walk out, maybe do a spot here and there. But they had him wrestle too many times. because Tony Khan was too obsessed with him. Now, when he wrestles like a normal wrestler. So all the shit that would made him his own character, now he's just some small guy out there wrestling. You know, he barely does the pocket. And I always thought that was what made him a little bit.
Well, okay, so the thing with Orange Cassidy, if you haven't followed, I know a lot of people have been out of touch with wrestling for a minute. Orange Cassidy is part of a group now, and because what happened with the Best Friends, because Trent is hurt, he was written off TV. He's legitimately hurt, and the other guy, Chuck, he's gone. He's permanently gone. I believe he retired because some ankle injury that he has that he can't overcome, that doctors are saying that he may never walk again. He's going to have the surgery.
And he brought nothing in the big time match other than if he might have liked him on being the elite, but other than that, he's
right. So they put Orange Cassidy in this group called the Conglomerate. So that's where he's at right now, and he's with Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, Ishii, you know, the guy that you have told me.
I didn't even know they considered that a group. That's how you know AEW's felt. Like Kyle O'Reilly's coming out in t-shirts and shorts, and he's in a group with Orange Cassidy. I don't get it. Nah, the Best Friends from the beginning was always going to be a bad idea for Orange Cassidy as well.
Yeah, I got you.
They screwed him over. They screwed him over. Tony Khan might like him more than ever, but that title run, putting him in all those matches first with no build on anything. The shit with Moxley, that shit with fucking Adam Cole, that was bad. Like they had him pin Adam Cole when Adam Cole was supposed to just getting to the company.
Right.
And they called it a dark match, so it wouldn't count against Adam Cole's record, but we still had to watch Cassidy pin him. I thought we were supposed to get an Adam Cole just jumping sides. 30 in by Orange Cassidy.
Well, the problem is right now is you've put the Undisputed Kingdom. What you've done is you put the Undisputed Kingdom on Ring of Honor, which they've been ice cold. I've agreed with you 100%. Adam Cole drives that group, and to me, they launched that way too soon with the Devil.
They even tried to put Wardlow in it for no reason.
It didn't work out, no, because Wardlow got hurt. Nobody realizes this. Wardlow got hurt. He did the minute thing and got hurt. We watched that. He got hurt. He blew out his shoulder.
AEW either is a victim of their booking or they're a victim of their wrestlers getting hurt.
A little bit of both. It's bad booking.
I mean, look at fucking Adam Copeland. You put him in the jungle and he forgot reality and he just jumped off the top of a fucking cage and his foot.
He admitted he said that in podcast that he should have never done that. Sure, he said he was just feeling the moment. Like, yeah.
And the other thing is Copeland people should feel bad for you whenever you got hurt, but Tony paid you a fucking lot of money. He was hoping you were going to be around. You're doing silly ass moves like that.
Currently, right now on the AEW, if we're talking AEW, currently right now, if you guys are watching and on the AEW side of things, I know we're talking on a Raw show, AEW. But this is in the news. Bryan Danielson, Danielson? Yeah, Danielson. I was about to say Bryan Daniel. Danielson, sorry. I was about to say his other name from WWE. Can I get the two confused a lot? I'm so used to calling him the other one.
Yeah.
He is working on a day-to-day contract. His contract expires in 3 days. He's working day-to-day. He said going forward, he's going to work day-to-day with AEW. Pay per appearance. Danielson. Yeah, he said he said it. He's going to be on pay per appearance from AEW, kind of like how TNA does with their people. That's what he's doing. Then he said after All In, he'll reevaluate, and he said he's going to possibly renew at AEW. He said he's there to stay.
Tony paid him fucking a crap load.
Yeah. That's coming from the Sean Ross Apps of the world.
Money that you're probably not even supposed to pay a guy like.
Yeah, he's basically paying him now
Tony
day
Khan
to
has
day.
pretty much told people, I don't need to make money in AEW. This is hobby. This is my dream. This is, must.
Well, if you guys didn't know, he's getting so they do have a handshake deal for a new TV rights deal. Now, it's a handshake deal. It's not a permanent deal. It's a handshake deal. So supposedly in this handshake deal, they're still working out the kinks on the rest of it. During the Olympics in Paris, they did announce that Tony Khan did say they have a handshake deal with Warner Brothers Discovery right now for their stuff to be on the Max app.
Tony Khan has all these Japanese wrestlers come in and wrestle for him, and he never gets them like story
time.
He puts them in random matches, and it's like, dude, this compilation hasn't worked. WWE has worked.
Well, I'm surprised he hasn't signed Minu. I'm surprised with that.
I'm not. He's probably not got a shitload of money, man.
Yeah. You're not wrong with that. That's why he's waiting for a TV rights deal. That's why he's waiting for that finish.
For him to sign Monet to all that money and the bang that she gave us that first month, that's what we got. Wow, Tony, you're in trouble if that's what you're doing with that guy.
Another one he should have pulled the trigger when he was there, and I know a couple of my friends in the chat here love her, Maki Ito. I'm surprised that they haven't gone after her. The one that
All ego Ethan Page has fucking had a better fucking opening than fucking Sasha Banks.
Yeah, ain't wrong with that one. He's actually doing better things in WWE, to be honest.
And it's less budgeted, meaning they're doing that in an NXT arena. They fucking had her like dancing or doing nothing.
Well, Monet's your top women's person, so they did cut over the weekend. If you didn't watch either, at Comic-Con, Monet and I guess Britt Baker battled it out between each other during whatever. They had a press conference. Tony Khan basically turned around halfway into it. Finally, Orange Cassidy turns around to fucking Tony Khan and turns around right to fucking looks at him. Oh no, was it him? Yeah, it was him or it was somebody. Looked at Tony Khan. One of the wrestlers looked at him and said, "Hey, why didn't you make this a match official already?" And he did. He finally called it official. Dr. Britt Baker versus Monet. He finally did. He was gonna let it go. He said, "Well." You hear him talk about storyline. I'm trying to keep this for storyline. And then the wrestler goes, why didn't you just call it? The fans are wanting it.
The problem is they're doing the Monet Britt Baker thing now. Mercedes Monet didn't have anything like that coming in the company.
No.
It should have been fireworks. He said it was going to change the business. We should always remembered it. It should have been a lot more meaningful than it was. It was like almost like she was getting paid to do the easiest shit in the world.
Well, she was hurt. And my thing is he pulled the trigger because he saw his ratings slipping.
Then that's Tony's fault big time. Then that's a bad move. That was stupid.
He was I like Sean Ross Sapp said himself. He said they signed her because he was afraid that he would lose out on the market of her to WWE. So he pulled the trigger knowing she was still hurt. And I'm like, you could have just had her sitting on the sidelines and pay her anyway. I mean, were people clamoring for her? No. You could have just had her set in the sidelines, and when she got better, you could have just debuted her. You know what I mean? I get it now that she's holding both belts and the belt that she lost and the TBS belt, but I do hope she does lose one of them. I mean, Britt Baker, poor Britt Baker's had seizures and fucking going through the gambit. I hope she...
You can't have Mercedes Monet lose right now already. Come on.
Well, that's just my hope.
Is she supposed to change his business? He can't lose now. He's got to have a year run. The kind of money they're paying her, he has to be a blockbuster.
Well, yeah, you put Camille with her. Of course you do. Of course.
Tony will probably do something lame and cost Britt Baker the match somehow.
Oh yeah, of course he will. That's just how he does things.
Tony is too afraid to go up to somebody and go, tonight you're getting pinned. He was putting Takeshita in 6-man matches because he didn't know how to put him in solo matches that were, unless they were putting him in squads.
Yeah, but I'll put this out here. He did say on podcast himself he doesn't like being in America for wrestling. Period. He says he hates wrestling right now. He's just doing whatever to do whatever, and I'm like, wow.
I would hate wrestling if I saw the way they were.
Well, can you probably? Yeah. Okay, so back to Monday Night.
Takeshita was ready to go. He had the look. He had all that shit. He was ready.
Jey Uso defeats Carlito in a matter of 7 minutes and 50 seconds. So we talked about that. Basically, Jackie Redmond had an interview. You this is when you came in on, and you said Selena Vega. I remember what you said during the watch along. Selena Vega, they have done nothing with her, and they just injured her on purpose.
She should have been put back to being a heel. The
Yeah.
LWO should have been a heel group ran by her and Andrade in it and all that.
They cut a promo.
Yeah.
Icon, what do you think so far with everything we're talking about? What do you think? What's your thoughts?
Well, like the injury for Vega, like I feel like she haven't really done much at all. Like with the LWO and like I don't know, like a lot of like the mix up to the show though. Like I'm not saying fully, but like a few points in like promos there. Like
You get a shot. You could. Sorry, I could have used those two dudes. The one that Zelina used to manage before. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. The two
Yeah.
LWO guys that are in there. Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
No, not to.
Are you talking about Angelo and her
No,
Angel
who were
Garza?
the two guys. I'm talking about Garza. Yeah.
Yeah.
Garza and that other guy he became a tag team partner with. Remember that he was.
Yeah. Del Tasma. Yeah. I know who you're talking
No,
about.
not Phantasma. I'm talking about the guy that was with Garza. The guy that was with he's been there with the company for a few years. Remember he used to bring the rose out
Bert
and give it to
Carrillo?
Charlie.
Alberto Carrillo?
No. Still wrestling. Zelina Vega, I think managed him once. The fucking I can't think of his name. He's a Spanish dude.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Not fantastic. I think it's like Garcia. He's in a tag team now, though. But he used to bring a rose out.
El Fantasma.
Not Phantasma. I wonder if I could pull the roster up.
Let's see.
Hold on, I'm looking. Tell you how they could have did it.
Right now she's doing Del Toro and La Duna El. Okay, that's basically Escobar. Basically, okay, Wild.
All right, here we
Wild.
go. Here's the roster. I'm gonna tell you who it is. Okay, the one guy's they got his name as Berto.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But that's not what he was always called. That's the one guy. But the other guy I'm talking about, well, I thought had some good chance. Hold on, let me. You got Joe Hendry listed as a fucking roster.
That's funny. He's got many, many years. Are you talking about Cruz del Toro?
That's not what his name always was. Let me find him. The first guy was Berto. You should see him on the roster if you look up roster.
Let's see, I gotta see this in dark mode. Okay, let me go back. Okay, so Sorry, guys. We are looking up some things real quick. You know.
Dude, I must have passed.
Yeah,
passed
we're
him. I didn't
looking
see- I didn't
up
see
some
him on
things.
this roster. Unless I got rid of him. Well, look up. Go to roster, right, and look up Berto, and it's the guy that was
Humberto.
with him.
Yeah, Humberto. I see. You got Angel Garza. What's his name?
Angel Garza.
Yeah, Angel Garza. What you're looking
Yes.
for? Yeah. I said his
Yeah.
name wrong. I said El Fantasma, and then I said Garza, and then I was like, oh, okay. His name was Angel Garza. He's been on the
I
free
knew
agency
Garza
market.
sounded close. Yeah.
Electra Lopez and Santos Escobar is the other dude. Yeah.
I
She was
wonder
with
how
all
they're
three.
doing with Pillman
Brian Pillman Jr.?
Jr.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
Alexis King over in NXT. He's doing very
no,
well
I'm
for
saying
himself.
I wonder how he's doing. Joe Coffey.
Really? What do you mean? What's really question mark?
What?
Hold
What
on.
now?
Hold on.
Yeah, I might be either right or wrong, so I'm kind of guessing, but like maybe like it's a lot of wrestlers I know through like TNA, AEW, and like obviously WWE. Oh,
Oh, you're good. You're welcome, bro. We took care of that comment. No worries. We got you. We got you, MV. Well, Joe Henry's not part of the WWE. Oh yeah, it's all good.
They listed him on this as one though.
That's crazy. I can't believe WWE
Yep.
would do that because he said it himself. He has
If you go to WWE roster on Google and you hit the second button and then you scroll through, he's on
Oh,
the
wow.
very bottom.
That's wild. Oh, it's all good. I got it. I'll tell you this: when we when me and Pesci do shows, we usually get a couple people that come in with weird names. They're usually friends trying to troll or joke around. Usually, it's just people being people, man.
It's a gimmick. Been around on my show since day one.
Got you. Usually, I just mute the comments. Usually, or I just
Nikita Lyons. Too bad she got hurt.
Nikita Lyons is trying to make a comeback at the moment. She had some wrestling stuff.
They got a fucking character called the Ramblin' Rat on.
So the Liv Morgan we're gonna go through each segment now. Liv Morgan, we're gonna go through this real quick. Liv Morgan. So Liv Morgan, basically had a segment dumping things into fire and basically
Smash your pad.
basically smashed their pad. Basically saying she's upset at the world. Fuck Dominic. Basically, she's crying in a segment. She looks sexy as hell though. Can I just say that she looks sexy as all hell, burning the shit in fire.
I think Vega looks the best.
Vega looks good too. So we go from that segment to Dominic Mysterio versus Sami Zayn via disqualification. This match lasted probably 8 minutes, and Dominic was getting worked over throughout the match as usual. And we had Braun Breaker coming out and destroying the basically destroying Sami Zayn, trying to, and failed. Judgment Day came out. Judgment Day came out first and beat up the shit out of Zayn first, and then Jay ran in to interfere. Then Breaker came out and tried to destroy Sami Zayn and failed.
You know, Sami Zayn may never agree with me, or maybe he would. But Sammy, the problem is this: you were way, way, way more over.
With the bloodline?
Yeah, dude. Like when I'm even pre that.
Yes.
Even that, when he was trying to get into the blood.
Yeah, he was way
a
over.
heel.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know how. What's up, Parker? How you doing, buddy? You guys know how I feel. You guys know how I feel about Solo Sikoa. He can't wrestle. I've said this to you guys. He is not my tribal chief. He's boring. He can't cut a promo.
That old Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn thing.
You're
Other than WrestleMania, after that, That shit went down the.
Yeah, I hope Roman Reigns shows up on Saturday because they need Roman Reigns right now. Yeah, SmackDown is losing. SmackDown's ratings. You want to talk about a company? You want to talk about people watching? SmackDown's ratings have gone down slightly. Solo Sikoa ain't doing it for people. I'm telling you.
Well, I think it's a compilation of something else. There
With
are
that,
a lot of people that this is their summer.
yes.
Friday, probably a lot of people are just out, not watching television, able
Yep.
to where you get counted as a rating. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And it's just, I think that's why their shit's down.
Well, here's a fun fact that people. Here's a fun fact that nobody. So this was brought up on Busted Open the other day, and it was very interesting. If you get a chance, if anybody here gets a chance to listen to it, Bully Ray and who was it? Tommy Dreamer, and they were with this business executive guy that runs the Business Insider or whatever. He's an artist. He's a article writer or whatever. One of the high up guys, and they asked him the question: do ratings really matter to get TV rights deals? And he said, yes and no. And he said those views that everybody's counting with AEW or WWE are not all the way factual. And he said, because here's why. And he explained it. And he went in and he proved everything I've been saying for 6 months right. Streaming TV views are not being counted. That's from the Nathan.
That's what I said. And I never expected AEW to get super high ratings because even the Young Bucks said this before I even knew who they were when I first was introduced to them. They said they don't think their audience consumes TV by cable. They think a lot of their audience were internet people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like the Young Bucks said, we don't even.
And that's why they were saying, he said, like, for instance, TNA, and he was also going into AEW, and then he started talking WWE. Most people are catching it through streaming TV services, not so much like traditional cable anymore. Traditional cable,
you know,
he said.
Like this. And I gotta imagine it's like this all around the world. I'd say this for AEW. There will be nights where I might be watching AEW with 7, 10 people, but none of them are there could be thousands.
Right.
That are just consuming it in a way that the rating ain't counted. And I think that's going to work against AEW. And the problem is, you know what I mean? You have a chance to get 2 million. WWE showed it, but today's ratings, I think, it's got to get a certain number for WB, and they'll be happy. For instance.
Well, they're getting a TV rights deal. See, here's the problem. It's in a handshake deal. They're waiting for the NBA to come across, which I'm wondering what's the number going to be. What do you think? How much do you think they're going to get? They're in a handshake deal right now.
I got to imagine Warner's looked at a couple things. Attendance being down in the buildings on their Saturday night show. Those going.
Right, and Dynamite's been down too. Their A show, yeah.
And then they see Dynamite kind of lowering. Yeah, it jumped back up, but then maybe WB's like, wait a minute, this turned into Rampage right here. And then technically, if you showed somebody the numbers, you think, yeah, this turned into Rampage. All they've done is fine. Only wrestling show that's gone up, according to Dave Meltzer, Brian Alvarez, is NXT. That's the only one that's actually went up in ratings consistent without having a drop.
So
not a complete rise, but enough to where they've always gone up.
So if we're
competing with AEW.
So if we're going to go, for my understanding, Warner Brothers is happy with 786 people watching them a week.
700,000 because here's something I recently learned. Dave, when I listen to Meltzer will say who's got first, and when you see what some of the numbers are for some of these first place shows, realize television.
People are not watching it.
Other than NFL football, which is the god of all when it comes to ratings, even close. A lot of shit's low. Like I didn't even realize. Like when you see they were showing like the ratings TBS gets on some of their movies, some of their other shows. Not as high as you think to where AEW could pull that 700 in between, 900,000. Yeah, they'll stay on that.
Well,
It's down.
here's your
That's why
fascinating
USA
part.
played a fortune for SmackDown.
Here's your
No one's watching.
fascinating part. So you knew this. They have an A, B, and C tier, right, for the NBA deal, right? And what people are not talking about is this, and we'll talk about it on the show tomorrow too. But the funny part is, here's the funny part, is what people don't realize is they made that C tier for Amazon. They did not make that for Warner Brothers Discovery. Warner Brothers Discovery came in and matched Amazon. And what the NBA did was they went, oh, no, we ain't going to work with you. We didn't make this tier for you. We made this for Amazon to come in and pay us a shit ton of money. They did not want Warner Brothers Discovery. Now what Warner Brothers Discovery is, and I agree with the Business Insider to an extent on the Busted Open show that I was watching the other day. And I do agree a little bit with Dave Meltzer. I think AEW, this is my personal opinion with Warner Brothers Discovery, I think Warner Brothers Discovery is going to be desperate. Personally, I think they're going to be desperate because the NBA is a huge blow to them. You know what I mean? Like a huge blow. And I think they're going to pay over the moon to keep AEW because they're going to have to. And they're going to have to go sign other sporting events on top of it. They're going to have to because it's over. The parade is over for them.
Reality is, NBA has this one problem as well, is they might have viewership numbers down, but people are just finding ways to stream games.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about it earlier. The only one who never fails is football. Football never dies. Well, we were talking about it earlier. We were, me and Icon were talking about this about Netflix. Everybody's finding it third-party means, and the reason for it is because it's too expensive. Amazon just went up to $14 a month for Prime service with no ads. So you think about it, them getting the NBA, it's just going to make them more expensive. And NBC Universal just went after the B tier, which originally was the TNT, Warner Discovery stuff, if you know what I mean.
I was hoping they won it because I already have Peacock.
Yeah, most people do. And it makes sense. And the reason why people like the Knicks owner is upset, true, Dolan's upset because guess what just happened? Peacock just got most of the Knicks games to play on Peacock. What are they doing with the Olympics? They're doing a trial run to see what people think of the NBA or, Team USA on the Peacock, It makes sense. And NBC's been buying out shit left and right. They just bought out the Pac-10 for games, USC, UCLA. Look at the shit ton of views you get there. Like you said, football doesn't die. Well, take a look at what Peacock's doing now with the NFL. They're going to put certain games on there and make it exclusive to their platform during the week. So at the end of the day, the conversation is going to start to being what streaming platforms.
People will find the game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And here's the other thing: Warner Brothers needs AEW. Unfortunately, they bring in.
I used to always pay once upon a time for every year, and it was overpriced. Always.
Well, now football fans and basketball fans are going to be rejoicing because supposedly in the fall they're launching this Warner, Discovery, Fox, NBC Universal, Paramount, Sporting whatever app that's going to have all of them in one to where you pay a monthly rate fee and you can watch all the games you like. Kind of like what you do with Zus.
Cable's pretty much dead. I mean, I would look at AEW as Tony Khan has watered down his product a lot. That shows, but they're never going to be able to their number all these.
What they should do is they should took Rampage and then turn it into a third hour of Dynamite. Personally, and what they should do with Collision is move it some other time during the week, but it's hard for them. They would cannibalize that as their, it would be hard. Ring of Honor is also in that deal. Supposedly in that deal is Ring of Honor is going to be put on the Max app finally, officially, so people can actually watch it. And they said they're going to put more attention to it. It was pretty much Warner Brothers. I could be wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Warner Brothers Discovery basically stated that that they put the Paul White in control or part of the board directors, or Tony Khan, one of them. They were in agreement putting Paul White as the commissioner of Ring of Honor. That's why you keep seeing him being plastered on billboards.
A goddamn face that they would recognize.
Yeah.
Shit.
Gunther's promo tonight was good. I forgot to mention that. Gunther's promo, getting back into WWE talk. Gunther's promo was good. He's going to be your champion. No matter however you slice it and dice it over the weekend, he's going to be your champion. He carried that Intercontinental champion with prestige. Don't get me wrong, I like Priest, but I think Priest, honestly, losing the title is not going to hurt him either way. I don't think he's going to go down the card either way. I think, he could go out and separate himself from the Judgment Day. They said originally he was supposed to be kicked out.
I would have did something like this. I would have never had Gunther. I don't know if it was because maybe he was taking a break, but I would have never had him.
Never had him do.
I would have never had him got pinned. This would have been one of my undefeated. This guy would have been one of them, Braun Breaker.
The other? I see that.
No, those two. I'm saying Braun Breaker, Gunther, guys. I would have kind of did maybe something kind of Goldberg.
Well, they have an opportunity to do this now with him being champion. They could put him on an undefeated streak for the World Heavyweight title, like they did with the Intercontinental.
And I don't know if it's because they said he got married. I don't know if after WrestleMania this is like they had to do it.
So they boxed him into so Gunther won the King of the Ring. So unfortunately, they had nothing for him. Unfortunately, that's what Triple.
Fine.
They had nothing.
Win the King of the Ring as the Intercontinental Champion.
That's what they did, and then they had him go into the match with Sammy and lose.
You know what? Because here's the thing with Sammy. You had Sammy beat Gunther or whatever. Like you said, that Rocky shit sucked with Sammy. What was getting over with Sammy was the fucking heel shit.
Well, here's the thing I've been saying, and this is to you guys here
I'm saying he's gonna flatline.
Right.
Yeah, he's flatlining as a.
The thing with Chad Gable, let's go back to WrestleMania on that. When I said this to Icon, and Icon remembers me saying this, I think I hope you do. I said it to Icon, and I said, "Have you watched Rocky before?" And I said, "Do you remember the scene where Creed is helping him going against Dragunov or Ilya or whatever in Rocky? I think it was Rocky 4, and he's getting up and he's trying to somewhat or whatever. Apollo Creed coached him and trying to encourage him to do this, that, and the third. And I was like, well, that's Chad Gable right now. They're pulling a page out of Rocky. And then I started quoting every part of that scene, what they were quoting. It was just a spitting PG version of it. And I was I was just like, wow. And ever since then, they've been doing everything Rocky-wise. Like Rocky was everything Sami Zayn's been doing is the same promos. I feel the same way I do with him as I do Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa to me has ran his course, and I think we need Roman Reigns back at this point because Roman Reigns, something about Roman Reigns just, for me, gets me to want to watch because I want to see what Roman Reigns is going to do every week. Solo Sikoa doesn't have those vibes for me. Solo Sikoa just feels off. I'm watching a Solo Sikoa, I'm going, you need to be back in NXT, homie. And it ain't for me. And that's just me.
He doesn't, yeah, I think with Solo, it's, he wasn't ready to even be put in a storyline to be wanting to subscribe.
And it's like, he needed a manager. It's not working. He can't speak on a mic. It's not transitioning for me. When he speaks, it's like what are you trying to do, dude? Are you trying to be the forcer, or what are you trying to be? His Umaga had a manager, and it's okay. I'm not saying, I'm not calling him trash. I'm just saying that he needs a manager behind him. And I thought, man, Paul Heyman, why would you have him go through table and shit? You could have had him as your manager.
The other stupid thing they're doing is why? I would just ask Triple H. Why the hell is Paul Ellering walking out with nothing?
The Final Testament?
Yeah, why the hell is Paul Ellering part of this? Why isn't Karrion Kross alone with Scarlett, them two only? We've already done the Authors of Pain Final Testament with Seth Rollins. You could use the Authors of Pain, but don't put them with Karrion Kross. It's not making any sense when all five. And the other thing with the Authors of Pain, these were the same guys that did that promo when they're like, remember when they're like, hello.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
yeah.
brother.
Yeah.
Montez, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Remember that?
Yes, I do.
We see them and we're like, what?
What are you talking about? What are you doing? Hello. The end of Raw was basically Gunther defeating Finn Balor. I'm not okay. I was with Pesci because Pesci was laughing. He was like, why do you have your tag team guy out there that's supposed to look strong just lose? In this weird way to just lose. And I'm with Pesci on that. It's like, you signed Finn Balor for all this money.
Tired of seeing Finn in that stupid. That's like the match you saw Finn in tonight. That's like the Finn. He's been in that match like a million times, it feels.
I don't know. Finn has not been pushed.
It's the Finn match.
Finn has not been pushed.
Gonna lose or something's gonna happen.
Well, Finn hasn't been pushed. That's the problem. Finn hasn't been pushed in 4 years properly. And this has been.
He's always supposed to have been the demon dude, and they took that away.
Yeah, they did.
They only bring it out sometime.
Well, it's like triple. It's like it was like we all watch him.
He had the entrance. They took his music.
It was like JD from the. It was like the other day. It was you watched me make a response video to it. JD from New York. It's the same thing. Like I think Triple H doesn't like certain gimmicks, and I don't think he likes certain things. And I think with MVP and Bobby Lashley, I think they went to Triple H and played their case, and Triple H said it wouldn't work again. I think Triple H knows what he's looking for when it comes to wrestling to a certain extent.
The Demon King? What was Finn Balor's?
The Demon King. It was the Demon Demon King.
That shit was cool. I know he said he was tired of getting that painted up like that because I guess it fucking is on or whatever. But my thing is that fucking gimmick worked. I remember when Vince and he goes, fuck it. He didn't even make him do the Demon King gimmick, and he put Finn Balor and Brock Lesnar.
Yep. I remember this.
That was the end of Finn Balor. You know what I mean? As a serious guy. Because if he's not the Demon King, you can't physically think he's going to take down Brock.
Right.
Reality. It would look silly.
One other thing I'm going to tell you.
He would have to be a demon to take Brock down and do that.
One other thing I'm going to tell you.
That's what they should have did.
Speaking of Brock Lesnar, and I've been asked about this in my chat, so there's an update on Brock Lesnar. Here's the update on Brock Lesnar. Triple H spoke on it within I think it was a podcast or an interview with the share people or whatever, the big ups with Nick Khan. They basically explained that because of legal proceedings right now that's going on with Janelle Grant and Vince McMahon and him being implicated, he cannot. The WWE just can't bring him in legal reasons. But Triple H kind of spinned it as Brock Lesnar will show up when Brock Lesnar wants to show up. Basically, they said he's being a farmer out in his ranch in Saskatchewan, Canada, and he's just doing his thing. Basically, going around the circle. It's technically legal reasons. I don't think we're ever going to see Brock Lesnar in a ring, but you never know. These legal proceedings have been pushed back. From what I was reading, they were pushed back again. Vince McMahon has it pushed back again for legal reasons to work with his counsel. And Brock Lesnar's all involved in this. So you can't have a guy come in, and anybody business-wise could tell you this. You can't have a guy come in, and that could hurt your business. Bottom line, you can lose. If Triple H brought in Brock Lesnar, especially with the allegations, that would hurt his business. That would hurt TKO hard. They would get in some trouble. And I think that's why you haven't seen it. Honestly, I do miss Brock Lesnar in the ring. Yeah, I do. But legal reasons, they can't. WWE doesn't want to take the chance. It would hurt them financially. Trust me, they have so much money, but they'll lose sponsorships. What I'm basically saying over it. They've been really trying in the last 2 years to detach themselves from Vince McMahon and anything to do with it. And they're trying
for Brock to. I think Brock's gonna do shit nowadays that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The
Right.
money's got to be there, of course. But I think you have to come to him with a plan. Like, look, here's what your next 3 months. And you know what I mean? And I think that's how Brock's gonna. Because reality is, he's gonna be like, if I'm coming back, I have to be like maybe in the heavyweight order. Am I?
Well, I think I think WWE's not touching it right now, and they're just going around it because of legal reasons and sponsors. I really do believe that. But if you do bring Brock Lesnar in, let's say they don't give a shit and they just bring him in anyway, Brock Lesnar's always about money, as you're saying, and it's got to be the right story for him. You know what I mean? For him to do.
It's got to be a right story too. He might not always just take a bunch of money, come back and lose to a bunch of people, but he did lose to some guys I didn't think he'd ever lose to. I was shocked he lost to Seth Rollins twice.
And by the way, for some of you that quote in my chat, Sasha Banks is from Boston. Let me give you a real quick schooling up real quick. She's not from Boston. She was trained in Boston with John Cena in the same wrestling factory as John Cena. She's actually
even though they've done it a bunch of times, they should want to do Roman and Brock again. Roman had to pin Brock with a goddamn crane. So Roman pretty much didn't ever pin Brock.
And by the way, Sasha Banks is from Fairmount, California, just to let you guys know. Fun fact.
Well, she claims she's from Boston.
Yeah, she was trained in Boston. That's why. It's the whole thing. She's not really a Boston person. She's from California. She actually lived out where Snoop Dogg is. Literally not that far from Snoop Dogg. So it's kind of funny when she says she's from Boston because I know her whole history. It's funny. She's actually a California girl. She actually has a house out in California, actually. Fun fact. She actually does. It's kind of a joke when I laugh every time they say, she's from Boston, Massachusetts. No, she ain't. She's from California. She was built in Boston, Massachusetts. Let's see. A lot of people like to say they're from the area, but originally such and... Yeah, that's true. John Cena's really from Boston. He was born and raised in Boston, actually, in fact. Fun fact. All right, so pretty much we got the Wyatt Six tonight. We got Jesse Ventura showing up on WWE Backstage, which was cool.
Best announcer. He was one of the best.
Tomorrow we got the Great American Bash on Sci-Fi tomorrow for NXT. I'm telling you, more people should be watching NXT. It's actually not that bad as people make it out to be.
Yeah.
I like just catching like the good parts from it. They got some guys down there, but
and then WWE did announce today that they are taking NXT Level Up, basically the AA of the WWE, basically the lower tier of all the INT people, and they're bringing them to Booker T's promotion. So they're in partnership with Booker T's promotion, finally, Realities of Wrestling. So there's another partnership with WWE. WWE is growing their partnership, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, Tony Khan could be thanked for that one. They're opening up doors now, just like WWE, just like AEW is doing. So Marigold now. You have Marigold. You have GCW's Bloodsport, and then you have, because over the weekend, I guess there was some controversy in a match that actually Shayna Baszler actually threw a real punch, threw a real punch during Bloodsport's show she was on. And then on Wednesday, we do have Adam Page to face Darby Allin on AEW Dynamite, I guess. I guess these two are going to go at each other for, I guess, Tony Khan made an announcement at Comic-Con for this. So the Elite have agreed. I don't understand. Maybe it's Pesci. Maybe you feel the same way as me. You have Tony Khan on your shows, right? And you have the Elite on your shows, right? Why are the Elite booking matches too at the same time as Tony Khan on the same show in the same arena? Well, it just makes no sense to me. Yeah, maybe you guys can make some sense to me with that. Like, I don't understand that logic. Like, 1 minute Tony Khan.
I've been upset with how the Elite have done shit. It's kind of day one, and that's one tag team I believe in a little bit. Like I always said, Kenny Omega, he could come back. He could do. Young Bucks, man, they just more and more stay wrestling.
So this is what you're getting on Dynamite on Wednesday, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. You're getting Hangman Adam Page versus Darby Allin, Will Ospreay and Lance Archer. You're getting a CMLL Women's Tag Team Elimination match with Eliminator. I don't understand.
Another guy who had a lot of fucking promised Lance Archer, and they fucked.
Willow Nightingale versus Chris Statlander. Then we have Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, Tomo Ishii versus Roos, the Beast Mortos, and Roderick Strong. Then we have Daniel Bryan speaking live about his future. And then we have Monet and Camille appearing and speaking. And then we have a Mariah May sit-down interview with Renice Burkett.
You know, it's sad. Is goddamn Mariah May has done more than fucking Sasha.
Yes. Mariah May has done more than Sasha Banks. She should be double champion. It should be the reverse. Should be the reverse. She should be holding both belts right now.
Mariah May was over with me before I even fucking before she was over. That was a big her that Jap kiss.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. Her and Minu have been over with me. I know Mariah May since Stardom days, and the other one that my buddy MV always talks about, the one that flips off everybody and says, "Hello, motherfucker." That's another person that's been over with me. And AEW had her on television, Maki Ito. And
dude, the Acclaim was on fire, and they extinguished.
Well, they cut a promo tonight. They cut a promo, not tonight, on Collision this week. And they basically said that they're sick and tired of the FTR. And they basically said that they're going to put their balls in the vice or something of the range. And said they're going to nut up or shut up and beat the shit out of them. And show the world why they are going to be 2-time tag team champions. I'm like, dude, you already got the number one contender. Why do you need to beat FTR for? You already are ahead of them in line. Then FTR turns around halfway. I don't understand this. FTR goes, well, we're going to be, so you're telling me at All In. So you're already giving it to me. And All In, you're going to have a triple threat for that ladder match. It's pretty much going to be a ladder match for the tag team titles. Basically. That's what you're telling me. For All In, you're giving me the match, technically. Because that's what they're going to do. Technically speaking.
All In gets 50,000 this year. Can't even get 70. It tells you everything.
All In ticket sales. Let's see where they're standing at the moment. Icon, do you have any thoughts at the moment? Any thoughts about the Go Home show, about Raw, anything?
Not really. Besides, it's kind of like feel a little bit flat, honestly, most of the show. Like, listen, I know Carlito versus, Jimmy kind of felt flat a little bit, but like, I might be wrong though.
Wow, Pesci ain't wrong about the numbers. There are 63,000 so far. Yeah, you ain't wrong. They're down. They're down from last year about 10,000. You ain't joking. You ain't kidding. You ain't kidding. Pesci ain't wrong with ticket sales.
WWE announced Wembley.
They are.
I'm saying, but when they do, they'll fucking shatter.
Can I just say something about that? And I want to say something on this show. Thunder Rosa, you're a friend. We follow each other. You've been in my DMs, right? And I like Thunder Rosa a lot, right? I think she's talented. You need to stay in your. I love you as a person, but you need to stay in your lane. Like, stop going on Twitter and running your mouth and saying, well, WWE, how dare them? No, how dare them do a show that you.
Thunder Rosa said this in a DM?
No, so Thunder Rosa, so on Twitter today, she's complaining that WWE is taking their style, AEW style, and they're gonna go run Wembley, and she's all upset over it. And I'm like, no, WWE is probably gonna run the same stadium and sell it out back-to-back nights, like it's coming out of style. You need to stay in your lane and focus on just making AEW better instead of running your mouth on Twitter. Yeah, she was on a whole thing on Twitter. Yeah, somebody posted it in your, I'll read on Facebook. I think it was Punchaho, courtesy of Punchaho, and I went to check that, and he wasn't wrong. She's been running her mouth. Yeah, he wasn't wrong. I was like, damn, all right. Yeah, let me go there. I don't believe this was fake news. Yeah, here it is. Thunder Rosa says WWE is targeting AEW markets within WrestleMania in London. Yeah, she's been on Twitter complaining that WWE is doing this, that, and a third. And here's my thing. Thunder Rosa, you have followed me and you have DM'd me a couple of times saying, thanks for being a fan. But here's the thing. You just need to go quiet. Seriously. WWE is going to run. They're a media conglomerate company. They're going to run whatever they want to run. You know what I mean? They're going to get the ticket sales. They're the number one. It's like what Pesci said earlier. Football is God. WWE is number one in the world. There's a reason why. Just saying. I'm not trying to be mean towards AEW, but AEW, you got to start staying in your lane. And your wrestlers need to stop running their mouth on Twitter. Seriously. On places. You know what I mean? Anybody else here agree with me with that? Like for real?
Well, like, I have to say this, and like, I'm not gonna, draw the line like being rude or all of this, but like, kind of worried about like another company seems kind of silly though, and like, I don't mind like staying in your own lane kind of scenario, but yeah, and WWE been around for more than a decade, 2 decades, etc., etc. But you know, yeah, I would probably say like evenly like AEW kind of struggle a little bit because of like storyline, but so do like what is it WWE as well with like some points too on like matches like obviously grossing too.
Well, yeah, I just don't understand why they got to go on Twitter. I get they're trying to defend their company, but what stops WWE from running shows? Like,
problem with
You're
AEW
right.
is they got a lot of good guys, and then it's about taking those good guys and making them to the next level. And other than MJF, they haven't been able to do it much without, you know what I mean, without him.
right.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna say this, Thunder Rosa. Look, you
They
guys.
didn't make Sasha Banks special enough. Like Sasha Banks, she should feel more special. She doesn't feel like shit. Osprey, sometimes Will feels good like a top guy. Sometimes he feels like average Joe.
And that was a shout out to Puncho. Puncho, I did check that, so I wanted to talk about it here on this show. 100%, brother. I agree what you're saying, 100%. I'm just gonna say this with you, that and I'm going to say this openly, AEW just needs to be focusing on being a good number 2. And I'm really been saying this for a while, and I know people are going to tell me, well, you're just shilling out for Tony Khan. No, Tony Khan's fucked up hard. And they're starting to book now. They're realizing that their views are slipping, and they have to start booking. They have to start telling stories. You can't you can't run a company with so much money sitting there, and you have all these talents. Well, I get it. I get it with Twitter helps keeping, the action up outside the ring. I get it. But the thing is, my whole thing is, you shouldn't be crying on Twitter and crying on Twitter about things that, honestly, it's good for the wrestling business. What you guys did, what AEW did for the wrestling grand scheme of things, they opened up the doors for WWE to run shows. You got to thank Tony Khan for certain things. Tony Khan has made doors open and made WWE change. You got to give him that. But at the end of the day, this whole constantly, well, we can do it, but WWE can't. It's absurd to me. WWE will, and WWE will probably outsell them. Why? Because they're number 1 for a reason. AEW should just focusing being on number 2, and I will say this on this show, and I will die on my hill on this one. AEW needs to do smaller arenas. I've told this to Pesci, smaller arenas. I've told this to Icon, smaller arenas like the esports arena they're doing. Do that. Focus on that. Stop trying to say you're going to do AT&T Stadium, because you ain't going to get, if you're not getting the tickets that you sold before, you ain't getting it now. That's just when Pesci's telling 50,000, and I know we got a month left. I know we got a couple of weeks left, and they may sell maybe 10,000 more, but that's still 60,000. That's literally 20,000 less than you originally sold. You know what I mean? That's a problem. It's either people can't afford it, number 1, and I understand that. Number 2, maybe the product is down, and maybe we need to have, maybe Tony Khan needs to sit down with his people and figure out what's going wrong. And I think they do. I think they need to focus on smaller arenas, like esports arenas and the Manhattan ballrooms of the world, and just focus on that. Be good at that. Nobody's going to be mad at Tony Khan if you do smaller arenas. I don't think anybody here is going to be mad if you do smaller arenas and just make it look more intimate. I don't think people are going to care. I think it would work the best for them, honestly. I've said that on TV. Instead of trying to make the camera angles all funny to make it look like you have a crowd. But I was told last week that Tony Khan did have a fire crowd for Blood and Guts. They did say they did fill up the whole arena. I had somebody there that said it was filled up to the brim of people. So when they do certain things, I guess they do get the crowds, from my understanding. But again, as I say on my show with Icon, and as I'm saying with Pesci, we're not trying to talk down at we want AEW to succeed. But the problem is when you got Tony Khan coming out every other minute saying they're the best show of the world, or hey, they're this, that, and the third, or hey, I'm booking for the sickos. Well, you're going to have people like us that are going to hold you higher. We're always going to want you to set the bar, always. And I expect that with WWE too. Like TNA, since TNA's talking all this shit about how they sold out this one show, Slammiversary, now I hold them to a higher bar. I want them to keep doing it because it's good for the wrestling industry. Seriously, it just is. Anyway, final thoughts on Raw, guys. Final thoughts before we get out of here.
No.
Not really. Besides, a little bit more footage with Damian Priest and what's it Gunther on a Raw a little bit, but
I know Pesci wants to get. Really. I know Pesci wants to get to sleep and all that, so and relax.
Understandable.
He's had a long day, so. And tomorrow we got a show, so guys, stay tuned tomorrow. Tomorrow on Splitting the Sauce. I'll have a link. I'll put it in here for you real quick. We'll promote it now while I'm here. We'll put it in the chat. I'll put it in the chat for you, guys. If you guys,
I might have to subscribe, my dude. If it's
you already are. You already are. You already are. It was my
oh,
secondary. It was my secondary channel. I made it easier for Pesci so we didn't have to have emails and all this stuff, and he can have it on the sidebar, and he could just click. So if I'm not around and he needs to do something or wants to do a show or something, it's not difficult for him. You know what I mean? It's not hard for him to get in and do what he needs to do. I wanted to make it as easy.
I'm trying to figure out a way we could show it on my channel because a lot of.
all right. So I'll take a let Derek miss that.
You could potentially what you could do is take the video from the YouTube channel and put it into OBS and stream it that way.
Yeah.
Because if you're using Restream on one side, it doesn't take up any bandwidth because you're just using the website. You can do it the other way around. Or you could stream to two YouTube channels. I think you can.
The one thing I need your help with is Eric Roman comes to the house
all the time.
I'd be able to set it out.
A mic situation, is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Oh, that's an easy deal. What do you have another mic sitting?
I'll let you know when I get it. No, I'm gonna pick it out. He comes over sometime, and he never has a microphone.
Oh, that's an easy. You just go out and buy a USB microphone. You plug it in, and then you just pick it as a source on OBS as your second microphone. That's an easy deal. And then you just fade.
How do you not pick each other up?
It's pretty easy. All you do is just so on the mic. So you have your one mic as a source in OBS as mic 1, and then mic 2 would be the other mic as USB. So let's say you have your mic, right, is the J, I think it's something J Labs or whatever.
Yeah.
You click that one, and then let's say you go out and you buy a Blue Snowball or Yeti or whatever, right? Then on this mic 2 on OBS, you just pick the Yeti option, and then you just go in and you just turn it up, turn it down. Easy peasy.
Is mic 2 like?
It's in OBS. In the settings on audio where you usually go. I could show you after the fact when I end this real quick.
Well,
I'll show
wait till I get the microphone. We'll do it like that.
Yeah. All right, guys. So that is for tomorrow. That link right there is for tomorrow for you guys. Like I said, that's for you guys tomorrow. 6 o'clock. No. Take that back. 6 Pesci's time, 3 my time tomorrow. So Pacific Standard West Coast time, 3 o'clock my time, 6 his time. Reason we're doing it this early is because we may be doing it 1 time a week. We may do it 2 times a week, depending on Pesci's schedule. So just expect.
There might be some Thursdays where I get off quite early.
Yeah. So keep up. We'll let you know. We'll keep you updated. We'll let you know. Tomorrow, Pesci and I will talk beforehand. We'll pick subjects, but I'm letting Pesci, crack open the channel to start. So we'll let him pick the first topic of the night tomorrow, and it'll be a fun show. We'll have guests here and there. It'll be a blast. We'll have guests here and there, and it'll just be fun. It'll be something different from me. We're going to talk games. We're going to talk shows. We're going to talk wrestling, sports. You guys name it. Minus religion or politics, but everything else on the table. We're going to talk about so many good things. We may have Retro Week on the show. You never know with us. We may reminisce, go down memory hill about retro games because Pesci does play a lot of retro games. And we may talk about emulators. We may talk about, some fun shit. So anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I will be back tonight streaming games, as always, over on Twitch. Just let you guys know, Twitch is the place to be for streaming. That's where I'm going to be going forward for my game streams. Wrestling stuff and everything else will be here. We'll go live, like I said, Wednesdays, Fridays, Sundays, here and there, multi-stream wise. I'm not going to neglect my other channels from streaming. I just wanted to lighten with the new podcast happening, with everything happening or the show happening. I kind of just want to, there's too many things for me. I got to keep it easy peasy with me. So just Twitch streaming. So guys, come on down. Check out my Twitch, RevSauce9. I'll be there every day going forward for hours at a time. So anyway, thank you guys again for hanging out. Thank you guys, Pesci, Icon, everybody for coming down. Love doing these shows as always. We have a blast doing them.
What channel is this on right now? This video?
On mine.
It's on the Rev Sauce one. Okay, no, because there were some good parts.
Yeah. If we do shows like this, feel free, clip away. I tell to anybody, if you like what you see on the shows or my streams or whatever, feel free to clip. You have my permission to clip.
Part we'll talk about when we brought up Punch.
Yes, feel free. Feel free to come on down and, clip all day. I welcome it because it helps me out for TikTok. You have my dying permission to do so. I have to make this clear because some people in my community are afraid and they're like, oh my God, I don't want to clip you because copyright reasons and I don't want you to get mad. And I don't mind it, good or bad, I don't mind. Some of you guys, man, I'm going to give you guys a word of advice. Clip better. Some of you guys clip me and I'm like, this makes no sense what you clipped. It's like me saying something to do with something and it just makes no sense. It's clip me. So you're swapping over to Twitch now. Here in a little bit. So I'll be over on Twitch here in a little bit. We'll be hanging out. We'll be doing the things. I'll be hanging out with Icon over on my Discord. I got to give Pesci an invite to my server. I've been meant to do that for a while.
Yeah, I was like, I don't even see your Discord.
Yeah, here.
Be a part.
Here. Add. Copy. Facebook. Here you go. I think I gave it to you a while ago, and yeah, I'll give it to you again. Here you go. Oops. There you go. Anyway, guys, I'll see you guys here shortly, and